Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's Surprise Sarah Thursday.
Hey. How you doing? How's your mom and them? Yes.
I told you that she had some y'all saved up. Oh, we're going to get there. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. I'm here every single day with you. And we get Sarah every glorious once in a while. But I'm here every single day of the year without really almost no exceptions for over 5 years. And we have got a fantastic community. We have got fantastic troll slayers. And we've been able to create this really great community. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. Miss Sarah will be time-stamping as we go. Or you can watch back on a higher speed or whatever works for you. So, the big news at the moment, we're just, I guess the world is waiting basically we're today's news is going to be one way or the other is going to be popalicious. And as they have just chosen Pope the misogynist, the 267th.
Oh, goodness. From what they're saying in chat, they're announcing. Oh, no, Catherine, my shirt says, I want to say I had this shirt on before we knew it was Pope Day. Okay, but it said, God ain't petty, but I am. So
glorious.
They picked the American? No.
The American, I thought the American that was up for it was like super ultra right wing, like Trump supporter.
I don't know about. Hang on. Taglay was the one that. Okay, hang on.
Oh no. Chicago.
What? Yeah, Vita Taglay was the one that was that tag. Yeah, that. Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead.
Dorinda says there is more than one American who is possible. Okay. Actually, I could pull up MSNBC. American Cardinal announced as the new Pope.
Robert Prevost. That's all I see.
This was not high on anyone's list. He was mentioned if there was to be an American and then dismissed because he was an American. He is reportedly very close to Pope Francis' vision on the environment, his outreach to the poor and migrants, meeting people where they are.
You might want to mute, my friend. Your typing is.
He said something that sounds an awful lot like something Pope Francis would have said. He said, "The bishop is not supposed to be a little prince sitting in his kingdom." Importantly, he spoke supportively of Pope Francis's change in pastoral practice to allow divorced and civilly remarried Catholics to receive Holy Communion. He did not seem as close to the LGBTQ community as Francis, but he did show at least some support for the idea that gay couples could be blessed. He speaks English, Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese. He can read Latin and German. That is significant because an increasingly global church, where it is growing in the far reaches, in Asia, in Africa, two places where if it wasn't going to be an Italian, they thought the new pope would come from. He can very easily slide
Melissa,
into many of those places.
Centrist progressive
He
Pope
has
Leo the
obviously
14th?
great linguistic
Really?
skills.
That's what I'm seeing
He's an
too.
insider as well. And there were a lot of people who said if it wasn't going to be Paroline, who for the longest time had been considered the front runner, he was an insider, a curial insider, which means he was someone who understands the inner workings of the Vatican. The Vatican has a lot of challenges right now, not the least of which is an ongoing financial problem. And I should also say that he is American by birth, but he's only spent about a third of his life in the United States. He has spent an awful lot of time in Europe and Latin America, again, to the point of looking for a pope who has a global vision and global experience. Cardinal Prevost is that person. We're still waiting to hear what his elected name may be. That will give us some other indications. But he was interested himself in selecting potential bishops who adopted a pastor's first approach. So in other words, the same thing that we saw from Francis that made him so popular around the world, which is that he wanted people to go into the world as representatives of the church who were not going to say, I am a bishop, I am a cardinal, but I am here to serve you. He is an Augustinian. He joined the Augustinian mission in Peru back in 1985. They lead a kind of semi-monastic life, the Augustinians. They're engaged in a whole bunch of pursuits, notably education and prison work. We have his name. He is going to be Pope Leo the 14th. Pope Leo the 14th, the first American ever elected Pope. Pope Leo the 14th, Elizabeth Lev, as our resident historian, we said the name would tell us a lot. Your reaction to an American and also to his choice of a name.
Well, first of all, this is an amazing bridging of the divide. We have an American who was born in the United States, educated in Chicago, but really spent most of his career in South America, in Peru. So we see this wonderful opportunity to sort of knit these northern and southern hemispheres together. But I find even most fascinating the choice of the name is Leo the 14th, because his predecessor will therefore be Leo the 13th, who was the first pope of the 20th century. Leo the 13th is particularly important because he is the father of what we consider Catholic social justice. And so it really does indicate a pope who is going to continue in these themes of Pope Francis, being very concerned about the poor, the rights of immigrants and migrants. I think we can expect to see in many ways much of the Francis pontificate in this new reign of Leo the 14th.
Let me go to you, Father Kasicki, because every indication from what we know about the new Pope Leo is that he is much in the realm of Pope Francis and the idea. And we were hearing in the crowd just shouts of Leo, Leo, Leo. The fact that he has chosen as his name the father of Catholic social justice. What does that mean to you as someone, obviously as a Jesuit, who saw the first Jesuit Pope elected and now the first American?
Yes, this is a very moving announcement. I must say I'm very touched both by who was elected and the choice of a name. He's a member of the Augustinian order, as you said, so the second pope to come from a religious order. And remember that we haven't had a religious pope before Francis since 1832, Pope Gregory XVI, who was a Camaldolese monk. So this is amazing.
We haven't had a religious pope
from religious orders.
I know what you mean.
He is the quintessential missionary priest who has, as you noted, spent his life in Latin America. A very good friend of mine who's in the United States recently told me that he met him. There's a training for new bishops and how impressed he was with the prefect. He was a prefect for the congregation of bishops now before becoming Pope Leo the 14th. And when I think of the study of Catholic social teaching and the very first social letter, Rerum Novarum, that Leo the 13th wrote that began Catholic social teaching, and that he would choose the name Leo the 14th. Many with whom I live with had that as a name that we thought might emerge for the new Pope is very moving. I mean, I can't wait to see him come out.
Okay, good enough. Did you just say, despite all my rage, I'm still just a pope in a cage?
I said, despite all his rage, he's still just a pope in a cage.
Oh, okay, so it that was good. All right, so the first cards I pulled, Ace of Cups is good. This is now you have to understand Catholics are, by definition, the whole point, the name Catholic is about the conservative, you don't change, the bedrock. But this Ace of Cups would be a new upswelling, upflow, fresh water, emotion, caring. That would be good. Lord help. All right, we have a new pope. This is a big deal. Big parade, Pope Mobile, the whole thing. After that, we know this is what's going to happen next. Somebody's going to be really mad that he's not the center of attention.
Womp womp.
This is major arcana. This is major arcana. This is minor arcana.
Yo.
This is, well, what about me? My position of power, my base of power, waiting for my ship to come in. Hello. And lots of people running to support him to just, oh no, it should have been you, with tears in their eye. Pope. I mean, it. And yes, Dumpy is going to find some way to make this about him. Wheel of Fortune. Well, we're definitely in a time of change. We know that. But with the astrology is crazy. That's interesting. Okay. I was reading an article this morning about, I forget who was this guy? That was very good, Phyllis. There was an article about some some influential evangelical man, of course, who signed your cat secretly hates you according to an expert. Oh no. Sorry, I'm trying to find this article. This article was about this evangelical guy, and he was basically about how empathy is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's toxic and it's unchristian.
Ooh, yeah. Empathy is about the most Christian thing you can have.
Not according to him, this guy.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was, after a while, I got like halfway through the article and I was like, okay, I don't need any more. Yeah. Apparently Trump has a hardcore candy addiction. Not surprised.
What's that code for?
No, it was an actual.
Oh, okay.
We like Tootsie Rolls.
Not even the good real chocolate?
No. But we saw during one of the times he was, I think, was it the 34 felony conviction trial? They had a room in the back where they would get together during breaks. And Junior was there one day, and he was there, and they showed that you could see the table in front of them that they were around, and it was just bowls of there were like chips and M&Ms, and it was just junk, bowls and bowls of junk. Anyway, times are changing. The church is having big problems financially. But this is, again, that Ace of Cups. That's a good card for a new pope. 10 of Pentacles. That's the dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
8 of Pentacles, day-to-day work. So that's okay. I don't expect much. I'll be honest. I was raised Catholic. I have great respect for the religion. I'm not just out to bash the religion, but I'm no longer Catholic. I haven't been Catholic since I was 16. And so I respect Catholics.
Right.
But I've got big problems with the church.
Mm-hmm.
And this, compared to what it could be, seems okay. They're still misogynistic, I believe, in my opinion. They are still cruel. But it ends in the Queen of Wands, and this is what made me think of that evangelical guy, because to some extent, this kind of puts MAGA Catholics in a bit of a bind. And they can't say, oh, it's a foreigner. Oh, no, he was born here. He got his schooling in Chicago. So now, Mr. MAGA Catholic, are you going to tell me that the Pope is wrong about being kind to others?
For those, I want to preface this by saying I'm not talking smack about the church at all. Just black and white for those questioning the financials. Membership has shrunk in percentage-wise of the population. Of course, there is inflation, but also you have to look at how much money over the last few decades they've paid out in settlements and everything else. Like, there's been a lot. Yep. And when you have less coming in just from attrition, and then you've got a lot going out. So, oh goodness.
I've got good energy, relatively speaking, on this guy. So I guess when obviously I was very upset when with the American Pope, because I was thinking of that. Is he the cardinal who lives in New York or DC or somebody? There's a cardinal on the East Coast who is super conservative, like MAGA.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. Love from Canada. Love from America. United States of America.
Yes. All right. Well, let's keep moving down the track a little bit. 1850, Goral brought something to my attention. Chief Justice Roberts took a little swipe at Orangina, noting that it was imperative the judicial system remain independent. Quote, its job, the judicial system, is obviously to decide cases, but in the course of that, check the excesses of Congress or of the executive. And that does require a degree of independence. Roberts knows the weight of what he's saying. Is the gauntlet being thrown?
This question is from Goral. Thank you. Yes. Okay, as great as that sounds, this is the same court that gave him complete presidential immunity.
Yes. It is. I'm also personally, I'm thinking they might have some regrets. We might have some buyer's remorse a little bit, because I mean, should they have known better? Yeah. Yes. Oh yes. But
This is all minor arcana. It's just a mix. Wands, cups, swords, cups, wands. Okay, hang on. The question is Robert's, draw the line. The line will be drawn here and no further. And by the way, that is that is grammatically correct. Because even though he's talking about a line, it's not a real line, so it's not farther, it's further.
yes.
Okay, here we go. Justice card, right up front. Ace of Swords. Okay. But this Justice card behind it is the Lovers, which means there's far too much mega energy in that court. Surprise. Nine of Pentacles sitting pretty. King of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. Nine of Swords. I'm not getting so much buyer's remorse. I'm getting a sense here of worry, and maybe from Roberts himself, some sense like he saw something that Trump did, or something that was done where he was just like, no, too far. And I'm wondering if this has to do with shooting people out of the country out of a cannon with no due process.
Yeah.
So I'm getting he didn't like the way somebody was treated, but there's still these conservatives on the court. So he's not this king. What is this King of Cups? Because he's not the King of Cups. He's not Mr. Liberal. Yes, Lewis. That the last couple of months have been full of surprises, haven't they? Just. And yes, didn't Miller sue Justice Roberts? Yeah. Disappointment. Okay, so trying to stir things up. Three of Swords, Devil. Yeah. The audacity. Because, of course, the egos on that court are like, I'm surprised the chairs can hold them. That all the chairs, like at least half the chairs, when they're all up there, they'll just collapse under the weight of the egos. But this kind of corruption and constantly trying to stir things up, and now I don't have much hope for Roberts, but at least it feels like maybe he's kind of waking up a little. I'm not expecting much from past, but yeah. I guess it's better than just rolling over.
And you and I talked about this, in the beginning, that they'll give him power and roll with it as long as it benefits them. And as soon as it stops, as soon as they stop losing power and whatnot, then it's going to become an issue.
They stop losing power?
The people who are giving Trump all this power. As soon as it starts negatively affecting them, like Congress is going to let him do what he wants until it starts infringing on their power. Same thing with SCOTUS. So as soon as, and it's starting to. So, all right. At 2440, GD has a question. Now, has the meltdown with the Newark Air Traffic Control System. Those who are not aware, there's so much going on with the air traffic control at the Newark Airport. It has been, it's being advised you not travel through there if at all possible. They're on a skeleton crew. They've got all this other stuff going on. Budget cuts. Doge has just bleh, all over it. So has the meltdown with the Newark Air Traffic Control System been sabotaged so that Musk can bid to replace the current system with his Starlink-related air traffic control system?
You said in the last few weeks, you said I couldn't do what you do because my eyes would be constantly looking at my brain.
Mm-hmm. I'd be able to know the exact amount of brain wrinkles I have
from rolling your eyes. That's how I'm feeling right now. Is it okay? Again, this is one of those things I ran across when I was going through news, and I didn't read the article, but I saw a headline. Is it in the EU, or is there somewhere that is, or is it in part of this budget? I don't know, but there's somewhere right now the government is putting together either a budget or something really necessary, and somebody's trying to make it so that the whole government has to use Starlink or some kind of Musk property something.
Yeah, I think I've seen something. Well, I mean, he knows the writing is on the wall. He's not going to be at Tesla forever. So, yeah.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Musk's how unpopular he is not just confined to Tesla. Because Trump had his great big victory, but there's a thief card. And then all of the heinousness that Trump did, that Musk did, that Doge did, that the evil children that Musk hired for Doge, that they did. And now Musk finds himself hemmed in. And this is quiet as a tomb. So things are not going so well. I don't have anything here about sabotage.
Okay.
But I have his popularity just...
Wow.
Let me see if I can find out anything else.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. That was sarcasm for anybody who hasn't been around me for a hot second.
Yeah, Two of Pentacles. So I've got to plug my phone in. It's about to die. Two of Pentacles. So this card for the reading. Musk's financial world is not great. I don't know why I keep whistling, but there you go. Eight of Cups. He walked away. He left things undone he shouldn't have left undone. King of Pentacles. But he has money, therefore he thinks he can do anything. And this is just flapping his gums about the far right and MAGA. He also, don't forget, he was pushing the far right party in Germany before their last election. He threw it's not a Roman salute, but we're going to call it a Roman salute at a rally.
Yeah.
Things are not going well for him. His let's just say his popularity is not good. So
he's very much in the faux era of his life.
Yes, Lois, whistle while you work. Thank you.
All right. Whew. We're gonna keep moving at 29:55.
This question gives me hives.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pimda, for bringing this to our attention. And also, if we have any reactions to questions, please know it's not a reaction to you.
Right.
It's the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's these awful, awful people. You are glorious, and we're grateful for you and your questions
Yes.
and your kindness.
yes.
It's them.
Yeah. Oklahoma schools will reportedly now be teaching Dumpy's 2020 election lies. Of course they will. How will the U.S. ever get over falsehoods if the schools are perpetuating them? For instance, people in Florida in their 50s still think that, some people in Florida in their 50s think that your blood is blue, and they, as teachers, are repeating this to their students. Yeah. There was a thing many years ago where people believed that blood was blue and it only turned red when it was oxygenated. And that it just became a thing. And so many people said it, even though it's not. People like quote that as fact. And so it's just, yeah. And science teachers are quoting it to students as fact. So it's just this ever perpetuating. So yeah, how are we going to get over these falsehoods? Well, yeah.
Well, the Three of Wands is a card for the reading. This is waiting for their ship to come in. You get them while they're young. Here's the thing, though. They're on the wrong side of history. The Wheel of Fortune and then the Justice card. So there could also be some lawsuits. Higher Wisdom is right in the middle. You do get the MAGA. It's not just moms, but it's a queen, so MAGA moms. Ace of Pentacles. Well, we're paying our tax money, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, you must do whatever. This is Oklahoma, isn't it? Yeah, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When people generally, they'll be like, oh, that won't happen in Texas. Texas is so red, and that can't happen in Florida. Florida's gone so red, and the southern states like your Alabama, your Georgia, your Mississippi, your Alabama, they're so far to the right. And I'm just like, no. The worst is Oklahoma. I don't know how they've managed to that is not the first thing that comes to people's minds. But
yeah,
there isn't a job in this world that could get me to move to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah, out in the cold. Diseased, out in the cold. That's what happens when you don't educate people properly. Five of Wands. Yeah, trying to stir things up. Change history. Nine of Pentacles. History is written by the victors. Nine of Pentacles sitting pretty. King of Wands. All for the orange furor. Sir, with tears running down their eye. Yeah, that's a bunch of hooey. Okay, yeah. These are people who need to get their collective craniums out of their collective hip bones.
Ooh, we're spicy today. I like it. Okay. Yes. All right. At 34:15, Chris Cool had a question. Again, not at you, Chris Cool, but will Tulsi Gabbard keep her job after Felon 45 finds out that she directed her agency to actually report on whether or not Venezuela is really directing gangs in the USA? Because heaven forbid we fact check anything.
I thought this came out a while ago. This sounds very familiar.
The particular article that was quoted was from the 6th. So it's just a couple days ago.
That's fine. Thank you. Nah, 7 of Pentacles. She's 7 of Pentacles. Fruits of labor. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, they're all on shaky ground. Behind this, she's doing her thing. There's a tower here because you're always walking on a knife's edge when you're around.
Yeah.
Trump, and if you're in the good graces of the narcissist or not. King of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, waiting for the ship to come in.
Sabine says she did something right. Well, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day.
True. So, now, is she in danger of losing her job? I just cut the deck. Tower, Judgment.
Yeah, well.
So,
I mean, she's supposed to be over, like, security and stuff, right? And it's data or something. Yeah. Secrets, like... And
Homeland Security, isn't she?
No, that's Gnome. Gnome is Homeland Security.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
She is Director of National Intelligence.
Intelligence. Yes. That's right. We put the Russian plant in charge of intelligence. That's always okay. Allegedly. Okay. At 37 even. Mayor had a question. I love this. I love your name, Mayor Meyer. Or Meyer. Okay. My middle child, their middle names are May Meyer. It's my grandmother's middle name and my husband's Welsh grandmother's first name. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry, tangent. All right. Mayor has a question. The American Medical Association hosts an update on its YouTube channel frequently. Yesterday, it updated on the measles epidemic, saying that cases are up in East Texas and across the Midwest. What will RFK Jr. do to address this? Or as I'm now calling him, Evil Hoggle. Have you seen The Labyrinth?
Yes.
Now, Hoggle had some redeeming qualities towards the end. I'm not seeing this in this iteration, but yeah, so is Hoggle gonna sort it?
Okay. Let's just say that RFK Jr. is burdened under MAGA thought.
I want to make so many jokes right now, but I'm not.
I know. 9 of Cups. This is medical stuff that already exists. King of Swords. My understanding is hasn't he actually said it's okay to get a measles vaccine? Because it shocked the heck out of me when I read it. Did I hallucinate that?
I'm not sure. I think because he vaccinated his own children. So yeah.
There you go. So stuff that already exists. But I get a big old hermit card and the moon for the card for the reading. He's not mentally well. And it's not just he seems unwell, and then he's in private, or he's not in public, and he's good enough. No, he's mentally ill all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very strange world inside his head.
Stay off drugs, kids. Stay off drugs.
Yeah. and then having a parasite have lunch.
Yeah.
Do we know what part of his brain that thing was in? I've never heard.
I don't know. I don't know, but Buffet Bobby needs to take a seat. Yes.
Because if by part of my concern is the way that our brains work. We talk about, back here you've got the lizard brain. Well, our brains, if this is your spinal column up into your brain, and this is the front of your brain, right? Our brains evolved back here and then grew all this up here. So we think about our frontal lobes, and it makes it sound like we have these two, I don't know, ping pong sized things in the fronts of our head. No. My understanding is the frontal lobes, what really separates us from other, is about 1/4 of an inch thick across the front. It's not that much. And if he had something snacking on it, anyway. Page of Swords. Well, he knows how to suck up to Trump. 6 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords. There might be some action. I don't feel like he's entirely present. It really just feels like there are people there who have vaccines or Medicaid that they'll be like, okay, let's do something.
Right.
But he doesn't feel completely like he's there, but then he's not. And he hasn't left the room, but he's not there.
Right.
And then,
yeah. Tell you what, between him and Linda McMahon, Trump knows how to pick them. Y'all, have y'all seen the Harvard letter? Did you talk about this yesterday?
no, I didn't. Shall I pull it up?
Yeah.
Oh, the most glorious pettiness. Oh, the perfect response. Let me go up here. Oh, so glorious.
Yes. So our Secretary of Education wrote a very sternly worded letter to Harvard University.
Why is it not showing up?
But she's the Secretary of Education, right? Now, I mean, I understand that she was married or is married to Vince and actually took some chair shots to the head back in the day. But I'm going to let you finish, Esther. I don't want to take away from your glory. I'm just doing the setup.
I understand, but I can't find the original. Okay, I've got this on Threads. Okay. I'll show it to you on Threads. So, you know how how Trump attacked Harvard and it said all these bad things, all right? In response, this is Harvard's response. Let's see if I can get this bigger. Yes, they edited. They corrected all the spelling and punctuation errors and shared it on social media.
That's fabulous.
Oh boy. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yes. Whew.
Use of so-called why brackets. It's or your. Use of even. Oh, the glorious all day. So Harvard 2, White House Administration 0.
Oh, goodness. All right. That was a fun little intermission.
Roseman says, please put that on your post page. I want to save it. Okay, I'll put it on the community page. That's awesome.
All right. 4435. Carl has a question. If Dems win the White House in 2028, regardless of who's winning, if Dems win, will Trump attempt a second January 6th type event in January of 2029?
He would have to come up with something new because they've already increased security.
Jan 6 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's not funny. It's not. It is not funny, but that man would try anything.
Assuming he's still physically able to do it.
Oh.
And I don't mean something heinous. I'm just going to say that his health could suffer without him being like severely incapacitated, but he could,
Right.
something could happen where his health won't allow him to do as much, because the card for the reading is the Hanged Man. So there's some suspension there. Knight of Wands, he will continue to be obnoxious until the day he dies. 10 of Wands, burden. Eventually, all of that hatred is going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Magician, they have been, that's why he keeps showing up with bruises on the backs of his hands. They keep propping him up with saline and vitamins and maybe steroids, I don't know. There's the Emperor and the Sun, but it feels very like a facade. Which makes me wonder if there's a person behind this, because he is not going to choose a successor.
Oh no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Because anyone who thinks they might have a leg up could threaten his power now. And Mr. Narcissism is not going to, that's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
So between the card for the reading, which is the Hangman, and then the Emperor here that feels like a facade, but I do not want this man to no longer be alive. I really, really do not. I want him to be alive and as okay as he can be when he is told to leave and the voters will no longer allow him to have power. Because if something happens sooner than that, we may have a martyr.
Yeah.
Plus, I just don't wish that kind of energy on anybody. But sorry, you were saying?
Oh no. The martyr and President Vance and all that.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, the bruises on his hands, like you're saying, he's either getting intravenous fluids of some sort, or my grandmother used to get those, and it was her iron and with her liver was acting up. So there's something. It could be a number of things.
Did it come and go completely?
It would come and go sporadically, but not completely. Like, it would fade a little bit, and then she'd randomly get a new one. And she'd also get him up in her arms too. But of course, we never see his arms really. Every now and then when he's golfing.
That's a good point, though. Oh, thank you, Claude. Thank you so much.
Great.
And yes, we talked about that right up front and read on it, and we were watching MSNBC. And thank you. Thank you. Pim just says he is pushing 80. Yes. Yeah. But no, I don't think it's always on the same hand.
Okay.
So I don't,
Okay.
Although, Lois, you have a point. It could be from all the times that Melania swatted his hand away.
Whew. All right. At 49:30. Cosmic
sorry.
Goat Lady. No, you're good.
Sorry. Amy was saying his eyes look awful. They look like demented pig's eyes. It's true. I'm amazed you could see them clearly. It's kind of hard to see them through the like glowing fires.
Cosmic Goat Lady has a question. Well, the Human Mannequin, I'm assuming we're talking about the son-in-law, lose the $2 billion that the Saudis gave him to invest in crypto. Imagine that if that deal tanks, they won't be kind to him.
Okay, the Saudis gave Jared Kushner, the human stock photo, the evil mannequin, they gave him $2 billion to invest, but it wasn't in crypto.
Okay.
No, it was matter of fact, they were getting mad at him because he took a whole year before he actually invested some of that money because he was so afraid, because he was so out of his element. He was so afraid he would invest in something that would tank. So it took him a whole year, and then when he finally invested in something, it was an Israeli firm.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it isn't just crypto.
Well, just look at invest, period.
Yes, let's see how's it going. He is paid, and he doesn't get that $2 billion, but he is paid $10 million a year to invest that money.
Hmm.
And there's a panel that controls or oversees the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And MBS said, here, we'll give this $2 billion for Kushner to invest. And they were like, no. And he overruled them. Because it goes back to Khashoggi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes me want to hurl that poor man and his family. Bless them. How's it going? Oh, King of Swords. Look at you. Yeah. MBS. I get this because he's allegedly a lawbreaker. Rose Blue, thank you. He'd fall to pieces if he angered MBS.
And how?
Thank you. Strength and Magician. So he started out in a position of power, but at this point he's feeling very beaten up. This is very shaky financially. The Ten of Pentacles, they have money to burn. They don't have as much money as they used to have, but they still have money to burn. So, he doesn't need to worry about his kneecaps. Or various bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I did see him out with his wife the other night. One of the security guards shoved somebody. But it was evening and they were walking toward an SUV. And he looks angrier the more time goes on. And it's not like a grr anger. It's more just this like tightness.
Mm-hmm.
This.
Yeah. He's more wound up. Yeah.
I don't like either of those people at all, but I'll tell you, there's something about him I really don't like, and I am no fan of hers. So
he kind of gives Patrick Bateman vibes. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not saying he would do that.
No, but the facade and the stress and maintaining the facade.
Yeah. And except he lacks the charm.
He is no Christian Bale. This is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the character.
Mhm.
The character didn't have much charisma. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He doesn't have that much.
Yeah.
So
Austin, we were talking about Kushner. So
yeah.
All right. Moving on at 55 even.
I'll tell you, the energy is just getting really gross. But anyway, go ahead.
So Orangina just made a trade deal with the UK and included a Trump golf course in the UK.
You are kidding me.
So will anyone do anything about personal gain using US power behind it?
You are kidding me.
Embalmment? What?
I didn't know that.
Let me double check that.
Well, we know this was the big thing he was touting the other day. The greatest thing ever. Greatest deal ever.
Yeah. Okay, well, hang on for just a second. Let's look at the thing as a whole. Julie, honey, where are you seeing the golf course? I'm not doubting it. I just want to make sure that we've got the correct. I put nothing past him. Nothing.
No.
But just the deal as a whole. How are you?
Well, the situation has been bad. Where Dumpy's not listening. Surprise. Knight of Pentacles trying to stir things up. Surprise. I do have a Temperance card right in the middle. That's good. Eight of Pentacles is daily work and the Star is hope. So there is some positive energy there. For the UK.
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
Not that he's getting a new course. It's that, funnily enough, all of this happened like the big UK deal is happening just 48 to 72 hours after his UK golf course is chosen to host a huge top level event. Like it's this, he's got this huge thing now announced, and now all of a sudden there's a deal in the UK. It's very coinky dinky.
King of Wands, Queen of Wands, so all those who support him, and in the center is a Magician. Use of resources. Who is the big thing that's going to be there? Is it a big UK thing, or is it how much did the UK have to do with it?
And
I'm guessing your Rose Blue. This is Turnberry, not the course in Ireland.
I think it's in Turnberry. Yeah, it's in Turnberry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The British government's attempts to curry favor with Trump by nudging golf executives to host one of the world's most prestigious golf tournaments at a Scottish venue owned by the U.S. president could ultimately lead to a violation of the U.S. Constitution, ethics experts have warned. And this...
nobody's done anything about the emoluments clause so far. Why start now?
British PM Keir Starmer have asked senior executives at RNA, which organizes the Open Championship, whether they would host the golf championship at the Turnberry Golf Resort in 2028.
Okay. I'm just disgusted This is incredibly damaging to our democracy. These cards are just disgusting. There's just it ends in he does what he wants. 10 of Pentacles.
I'm going to put the link for this in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, but in the thing, in case anybody wants to.
I'm with UK. Unfriggin' believable.
The RNA is not owned by the British government, and Downing Street officials have said the decision will ultimately rest with the Gulf executives. I'm sure it will.
Right.
I'm sure it will.
Okay. Well, we've been on for an hour, and it might be time for a card for us because I've got the heebie-jeebies from this stuff we've been reading on, which I'm willing to have, as long as I can, answer your questions, because that's what's important here. But I have the heebie-jeebies, and we've been on for an hour, so I'm going to do a card for us. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. You deserve it. Oh, okay. I was getting one message and it was like, okay, but we talk about that all the time. So I asked for another and I'm getting something similar. Basically, you're on the right side of history. And in the future just of the whole world, you're on the right side of history. You're doing the right thing. You're caring. You're Nine of Cups, we have a community. All these Democrats working together. We believe in justice. And ultimately, the other side, the MAGA, end up feeling beaten up. Like they can't overcome this. But it's also reminding us about the economy. That right now we've got the Nine of Pentacles, the sitting pretty. I'm not saying everything's hunky, just all unicorns and rainbows. But right now, this is sitting pretty. I've got the Tower card in the middle, and then the hemmed in. So I'm not saying I don't want to overblow this. I'm just saying, do what you can. And even now I'm not buying almond milk anymore. I'm, basically food processing some oats now and then to make some oat milk. Other than that, I've just been using water in my coffee. I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but considering I always have flavored coffee, and when I make it, it's usually in the morning with flavored protein powder, I don't need it.
Right.
So I find myself, it's like, you know what? How about I have a carrot? You know what? I want something. How about I make something? So even now, before things are bad, I'm just starting to try this, try that recipe, cut back a little bit there, go organize that, work on the garden. And thank you, Miss Sarah, this morning put up with me just pulling my hair out, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to be growing. And it was ugly.
Was it ugly? It was just a lot.
It was a lot, and it was frustrating. And you just thank you.
You're most welcome, dear. You're most welcome.
Okay. There we go, Jilly. Homegrown herbs in my canned goods. Excellent. Grace is saying, is a positive by being more aware and making smarter choices. I've lost some weight. Excellent. And yeah, so we're gonna get through this. Rosebud says carrot cake is good. Yes. Yep. I've got some canned pumpkin I want to use for some kind of pumpkin bread muffins or something, or that kind of thing. Work some cheese into baked goods. So, all right. But hang in there. You are not alone. You really aren't. We are in this together. And believe it or not, there are good days ahead. Sometimes we have to just endure through when the astrology decides to act a fool. But there are good days. There are. All right.
Lewis votes muffins.
Say again?
Lewis votes you make muffins. I wonder why.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a point. In case anybody's wondering, there was one day, and I don't know who it was, but someone called Lewis a stud muffin in the chat.
It was Valerie at Sage of Scales. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so that's been a thing ever since, with other people calling him muffin, which is adorable.
Yes.
All right. So please hang in there. It's 1:18 here in Chicago and in Louisiana. At 3 o'clock, we will be over on the Creative Sprints channel, just trying to be as productive as we can. And I will be right back here tomorrow. So just leave questions in the chat before I come on, and we're going to get through this together. So hang in there, and we'll see you later. All right. Thank you. Thank you.